Hey guys, it's D.Bowie here, and today I'm going to talk about Lotus Orb. So, a lot of people just consider the item this item you use to reflect other spells, and that's basically it, right? A lot of people only see the value in reflecting stuff. And today I want to give you my 2 cents on the item and why I feel like I wouldn't say he's under-purchased, but I feel like a lot of people don't really understand how the item is supposed to work. And a lot of people also consider this item a support/utility item only. And I feel like some heroes can some core heroes can usually use the item pretty well. And I'm gonna talk also about which heroes I feel like it's almost core to have Lotus Orb against them. So, the 3 heroes I want to talk about first are Bristleback, Death Prophet, and Husker. So, well, for us to analyze Lotus Orb, we actually have to read what the item does. So it gives 10 damage, 10 armor, and this is pretty important because if you consider the high tier of items that give armor, you only have Shivas, Assault Cuirass, and I mean like a Skadi or a Butterfly, and these 2 items are very expensive. So this is an item that offers a dispel and that offers armor, and it's not Greaves. Because, well, usually, like, your support's gonna have Greaves, and Death Prophet's also not the type of hero you wanna have Greaves on. So it kinda works in a way that no other item can. Because if you care, let's say you care about mana leak, you can say, well, I can build Lincolns on my Death Prophet. But if you compare what Lincoln is going to give you stat-wise, it's actually very different. So it gives the mana regen. So Death Prophet likes the mana regen a lot. Usually you're going items like Octarine Core, it doesn't give mana regen anymore. A lot of Death Prophets nowadays don't go for your Scepter, so you also lose that mana regen aspect. So the mana regen is pretty good, and you can say, well, Lincoln seems like a good idea. While Lincoln's gives you some attributes, and that's something that Lotus Orb doesn't, it doesn't give you any armor. And if you pay attention to Death Prophet, she only has 7 armor, and she's the kind of hero that's gonna ult, and she's gonna be in front of the tower, in front of everyone. So having the armor to sustain that push is very, very good. And there's something that Lincolns can't give you. So let's say you're against Silencer and he uses Global Silence. Well, Lincoln is not gonna help you here. And yeah, you can say, well, then I can build BKB. Well, but then you're actually building 2 items. You're actually... First of all, Death Prophet's not a hero that farms a lot. And when you're going for this type of sieges, Death Prophet's not the best example, so let's talk about Husker. You're like hitting the tower, and even when you're relatively farmed with Husker, he doesn't right-click for a lot, and your team is gonna be around with you, you're gonna have Aegis, so that tower is gonna have a lot of armor, you're gonna take it very slowly. You don't want to commit your BKB against this Global Silence right away, no. So the point of Lotus Orb on heroes, on these core heroes, is that it kinda saves you the BKB. It's like Manta on a Terrorblade, you know? Terrorblade goes for BKB and Manta. And Lotus Orb kind of feels that same role, but on strength cores that don't really like going Manta, and on intelligence cores that also try to siege and stuff like that. So this is what I feel like Lotus Orb is pretty good on Death Prophet. It's not only about reflecting stuff, it's about purging. So if I was not clear about that, you can actually purge a lot of stuff. So you can purge mana leak, you can actually reflect Omni Slash. So let's start talking about these heroes and why I feel and why I feel like this is actually a pretty good item against them. First of all, mana leak, huge range. When you're trying to disengage from a fight, or when you're trying to siege and Keeper of the Light's gonna start spamming you with that with this very annoying combo, you know, you lose a lot of mana, you get stunned, it's just super annoying. You know what you can do? As soon as he commits, actually you can wait the Blinding Light so that you can purge the Blinding Light as well. But If you're like Death Prophet and you care more about your mana than actually right-clicking, you can use Lotus Orb as soon as Mana Leak comes. So I mean, yeah, you can't right-click, but your spirits are doing the damage, so you really don't care. Against Larder, so he just jumps in and initiates, and now you have like minus 50 armor. Well, I just purged this, and I'm Gucci, and I actually have 10 armor on top of that, so Death Prophet is usually that kind of hero that's gonna suffer a lot against Larder and these types of initiations. But if you have like a Force Staff and this, you can just purge the armor and Force Staff away. You're gonna be Gucci. You can also, well, if you pay attention, when Juggernaut, okay, so I actually ulted. He has a very particular animation when he's going for the Omni Slash. He kind of turns his sword upwards like this, and you can really abuse that and just do this and reflect the Omni Slash. So this is pretty good against Juggernaut, because if you're alone, he pretty much just loses his Omni Slash. But even if you're not alone, you're gonna deal damage. You're not going to be taking damage from the Omni Slash, which is also pretty good. So yeah, I talked about Global Silence. You can purge Arcane Curse. So as a Bristleback, when you're playing against a Silencer, it's super annoying to have an Arcane Curse. And this is not a skill you want to commit BKB, right? I mean, you don't want to stop using all your spells, but at the same time, you don't want to commit BKB. So you just poop, and there you go. It has a very short cooldown. It's actually 15. And you're gonna be Gucci. And well, there's Sunder as well. So what is wrong with you, Kato? Just go away, man. No one wants to talk to you. So, okay, so you see the Terrorblade just walking up to you who wants to Sunder? Oh boy, and yeah. When you do that, when you actually Sunder like this, no HP is exchanged, because it's like if they both exchange HPs twice, so it just goes back to normal. And this is why I feel like these are 5 heroes that you usually want to have Lotus Orb. It doesn't need to be on your cores, most of the time it's gonna be on your supports, and this is why I actually highlighted Clockwork and Bounty Hunter here. First of all, Bounty Hunter is the kind of support that actually will have the gold to make Lotus Orb. A lot of support like Crystal Maiden and Kodo. I mean, Kodo wants to farm his eggs, so he really doesn't care. Slayer wants to farm a lot of stuff before he's going to build Lotus Orb, and he dies a lot in team fights. That's not the case for Bounty Hunter. He's gonna be there just tracking people, reaping the gold. So he is one hero that can go Lotus Orb fairly well, and he doesn't really care about... I mean... He doesn't care about what items he is going for, as long as the item helps his team. This is what I mean. And Clockwork's the hero that's gonna farm like a Blade Mail. A lot of Clockworks now go Midas, so he's gonna have the gold to actually build a Lotus Orb if needed. And these are the heroes that you want to build against. Well, so I was talking about these 3 core heroes and why I feel like a lot of people should build Lotus Orb on them even though they don't. So look at the base armor of these heroes. It's actually 7, 5, and 9. These heroes, they will go for items that give HP, but they will not have a lot of armor. So if they're playing against Larders, if they're playing against the Terrorblades, if they're playing against Juggernauts in the late game, they're gonna be super farmed, but they're gonna die very easily, and BKB doesn't really help them. I'm not saying you shouldn't go BKB on these heroes. I'm just saying that Lotus Orb gives you the mana regen to keep farming, gives you a way to get out of a lot of disables, and conserve, actually save your BKB charges so that you can use them when they actually matter. Bristleback's another hero. Let's say he's your sieging hero. This means you're kind of screwed because he's not the best sieger, but you're gonna be there just spamming your quills. Oh my god. Just spamming your quills and hitting the tower. So people are going to annoy you. They're gonna throw this type of stuff on you and this, and they're gonna use a lot of stuff. And you can just Lotus Orb it instead of BKBing. This means that you don't really need to commit super hard with your items. And with the low cooldown, this means that even in prolonged fights, you can actually deal with multiple disables. And yeah, this is why I feel like the item is pretty good. There are times when Lincoln's is better than Lotus Orb, and as I said, silence is something that you really the Lotus Orb has way better than Lincoln's. But when you're in a situation that Lincoln's and Lotus Orb are kinda equal, let's say, I mean, you're against a Kodo, so yeah, Blinding Light is annoying, but the real annoying part of it is of Kodo is Mana Leak. So let's say you're playing Timber Soul. The Mana Leak, the Mana Leaks, the Mana Regen is pretty good on Timber. The armor is actually pretty good because let's say he's against a Slardar. When he's being ganked by a Lifestealer and Slardar, what's going to happen is that most of the time he's just walking, he has no passive armor, and Slardar's gonna reduce his armor by 20, and there's gonna be a Lifestealer with Desolator just, you know, making right clicks, and he's gonna die in 5 hits. So the reactive armor is not gonna build up, and a lot of people think of Timbersaw as a hero with high armor, but sometimes it's like he doesn't. So not only Lotus Orb allows him to deal with that if he's fast enough, but the raw armor on top of him is gonna be very helpful so that he can actually survive, use Lotus Orb and disengage. And Lincoln's, would it really help? Maybe it would. I mean, it would purge Corrosive Haze. But maybe he dies because he had very low armor in the first place. Or maybe, since Lincoln's blocked Corrosive Haze, he's gonna be open wounded. So even though he's going to use Timber Chain, he's gonna die afterwards. Or the contrary, Lifestealer's super fast, uses open wounds first, then Slardar uses Corrosive Haze and he's dead anyways. Because he didn't have armor. So this is what I wanted to talk about Lotus Orb. It's not an item you should buy every game, don't get me wrong, but I feel like people under-purchase the item, especially in cores, but in games in general, you know? As a bounty hunter, people are like farming Pipe to survive Illuminate, when what's really annoying about Kodo in the late game is Mana Leak. As a core, you really don't want to BKB against Mana Leak, you really don't want to BKB against Arcane Curse. And the item gives you that, you know, that little dispel that the only hero that could solve that is Legion or Abaddon, but you don't see a lot of Abaddon in pubs, and you see a lot of Legions, but usually they don't press the attack to actually purge stuff, they're just like right-clicking and using the skill randomly. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about Lotus Orb, and I hope the guide or the video was useful. As always, guys, this is it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. There's actually no extended version for this video, but Pugnin is a platform where you can learn from people like Chessie, Fog, Monib, and get better at the game. They have great content on the new patch, and if you want to raise your MMR, it's a great time. Just figure out the patch faster than others and get those easy wins. And if winning MMR is not enough for you, you should definitely check out our new partner, Loot Case. There you can win and find beautiful cosmetics and go from 0 to hero, get your hero all crispy and stuff, and you actually get a kind of a double bonus if you sign up with my referral link, so check that out in the description. Well, that's it, bye.